We all die. Everybody here is going to die someday. I don't mean to scare you, but it's going to happen. There's no magic potion that's going to make us live forever. There's no philosopher's stone yet. And if it is, it hasn't been readily made to the public, and whoever has it is a hoarding liar. And we all need him. But then this quote gets me thinking. I'm not afraid to die. I just don't want to be there when it happens. And I wonder what exactly makes us scared of death. What are the things that cause us to be scared or uncertain or not want to die? And so I thought about it for a while, and I thought about the personal reasons why I'm afraid to die. And so that's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today, are the reasons why I personally am afraid to die. The first point I want to talk about today is I'm afraid to die because there's so much uncertainty behind it. You know, if you have a faith or a religion or a God that you follow, then it's a little bit easier for you to come to terms with the death that you inevitably face, because you believe that there's a heaven that you will go to, and you believe that you are someone who's going to go to heaven if you live your life correctly. And I think that's a wonderful thing and a wonderful sense of security to have. But unfortunately, if you don't believe in a God and you don't have a religion, then it's harder to find that sense of security. And that's something that really scares me, is that I don't know what's going to happen to me. And those of you who do have a faith do know, and sort of unnerving to me, to say the least. Second reason why I'm afraid to die is because I'm afraid of all these thoughts in my head just disappearing forever. Every single memory I've ever had, every single idea, every thought that I've had is just going to go away. And I can't get them back, and I don't know if they are gone permanently, or for some reason I went through a phase in middle school where I thought that my thoughts would turn to stars in the heavens, and that's why we have so many stars and so many galaxies, because every single thought of every single person who has died has just gone out and made a new star, which I guess is a nice idea, but realistically, I don't think that happens. And the third reason I'm afraid to die is just because it's scary, and I'm afraid of the dark. And when I think about death, I do think it's a dark and scary place. And like I said, if you have a religion or a faith, then it's a lot less unnerving, because you have your own ideas about heaven or where you will go after you die. And when you don't have a faith or a religion, you do think of death as this scary thing that you don't know what happens afterwards. I have more to say about this, I swear. In conclusion, everyone is afraid to die at some point of their lives. Everyone will either find their sense of security or they never will. But it's impossible to really 100% say what's going to happen. And honestly, do any of us want to be there when it happens? Thanks.
Well, you've got a nice dramatic statement as your attention device. You transitioned the topic pretty effectively. We've got your point of view set up nicely. There's not really a preview. There's kind of a suggestion that there's going to be a preview, but it never gets developed. However, in the body of the speech, I could hear you organizing and structuring it around those fears, and I thought that that worked fine. The individual points are okay. They don't get discussed in a great deal of depth, but I thought that there were a couple of nice things that you said that are thoughtful and make the point that you're trying to tell us about. Like I said, I thought it was well organized in the body of the speech. So if you could get the preview set up for us, you'd be in good shape there. Presentation issues, I think your voice projects pretty well, and there's reasonable inflection. It flows very smoothly. I like that. There's a lot of gestures and indicators while you're speaking. You look up at the audience. You're animated when you talk about the stars, for instance, and all the ideas that you've got going on there. I like that. I think it's a little odd that you stand almost as far back as you possibly can against the wall there. So, if there was another 2 feet behind you, I got the impression that you would take that extra 2 feet, and you want to be a little careful about that. The other thing that might be a little bit indicative of anxiety is the knuckle cracking that goes on in the last third of the speech. At the end of the speech, I thought that you did a very nice job summarizing the point that you were trying to make, and you found a reasonable exit line. And it's a good example of a speech that, look, it's not the amount of time that you speak that matters, it's the clarity of the point that you're making. You had a pretty straightforward point. It was organized, you had a nice example on each one, and you finished off well, and that's the kind of thing that you want to do. Don't worry about, let me squeeze an extra 2 minutes out of this and just stretch it. If you've made your point, it was coherent, you had some examples, you're doing fine. All right, thank you.